15 seconds delay. Then we can make a mistake. Oh, look at that. There's the Apple standard mountain range. Well, just tell us which one's not.
Harry.
Nick. Oh, wow.
So I think we're live.
So we won't be in
Are we actually live to the world?
That's good. Yeah. You guys.
Oh, maybe.
You got to start that awkward look and just.
Oh, no, there's a little sad face.
I'd say he's more concerned than sad.
He's angry.
Indifferent.
Angry. Is that angry face?
I'm sad not to look like a slob on this couch.
Yeah, we do. What are we doing?
What they want.
Me. Testing. 1, 2. Can you got the accent modifier on?
One channel's not going to be the end of the world.
No.
It's only got one channel audio.
The big concern is the stream isn't actually working.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's why there's such a sad face.
We're only 10 minutes back on schedule. It's all right.
This is imagine how much hype's out there. People in Europe are just like, oh my god, I can't wait for it to start. Don't know what.
Adrian. Yeah. These guys can't even stream something from their living room. How are they going to do a game underwater?
Yeah, genuine concern though.
Yeah.
It is genuine.
Like,
As soon as we stick the cameras in the water, that's the right one.
I know what. You just
That's right.
Oh my god, these aren't waterproof.
just put it in rice. That's what you do.
Yeah. Right.
We've just got
Put some helium. Put some helium in it.
I'm not a scientist, but I feel like that works. That's why we've got Justin. He's the fall guy for when this guy pairs up.
What's Justin's company?
And in a high-profile lawsuit.
Lost $1 million of sponsorship because of this delay.
You need to send me a link out.
No, it shouldn't be. Because all I did was to
Where can I find the new link? Where can I find the new stream?
Ooh.
We need to get some. You know what we need? We need whiskey or something. So we look classy.
Oh, I was just at McHenry's.
Yeah.
What's the channel?
And some.
Yes.
Table with
That's right.
some
Yes,
ice.
that's right, yeah. Clink, clink. Schwepplerwesend.
Right, do you think we can put this down to, is it winter? Oh,
Hey, you can't come through there.
winter daylight savings time. Hobart's actually runs 15 minutes behind the rest of the world.
Yes, due to the heavy snowfall this morning on the mountain.
We started perfectly on time, but due to the 15-minute delay,
That's right.
processing to YouTube.
That's right.
We only just got internet last week in the state,
Yeah.
and there are some
Due
concerns.
to the
Blame the NBN.
NBN.
Someone
NBN
has to
go.
row the cable across Bass Strait every time we want to send a message.
The guy in the dinghy takes a while to get there.
He's seen them.
Oh,
Okay, you guys are actually live. People are watching.
Are they? Are they really? Hi, guys.
I've been moving past my
Now it's cold in Hobart. It's no longer cold.
I have to go to site. But I'm the actual.
You can hear us.
so we're actually live, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, we're all good.
Right.
So you want to
How many
start?
people do we have watching, Jack? Is it just you?
Currently 5 people.
Whoa,
Hey!
3 people!
Oh,
Yeah,
numbers
right.
are dropping like flies.
It's not on our.
We had more watchers when we weren't live.
How are we going?
All right.
Let's go.
Yeah, just. You good? You go. Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll go.
Are we good?
All right. Yep.
Sean?
Yep.
All right. Apologies to anyone who's watching this reviewed that you've just spent 5 minutes watching absolute rubbish, probably, and now you'll spend another 10 watching more rubbish. So, welcome to the first of our Name to Be Advised show. That is going to be a debrief, daily highlights, info leading up into the tournament. So we plan to do a couple of these prior to the tournament to get out all the information. And then during the tournament, there'll be a show like this happening every night where we run over some of the highlights from the day and get in some special guests, do some interviews. So today, joining me on the panel, on my left here, I have Harry Vanderwood, who is captain of the commentary team here for the fourth Underwater Hockey World Age Group Championships. Good to have you here, Harry.
Thanks, Nick. It's off to a good start today for our broadcast coming up. But no, it's exciting, and hopefully we're going to have a really good broadcast underway. So hopefully you won't be seeing me on screen too much because the face is not ideal, but obviously the voice over the tournament. So yeah, it should be a good one.
Yes, the dulcet tones of Harry Vanderwood. Just getting a little confused there by our technical gurus pointing at which camera to look at. So well done, mate. You bluffed your way through that. That was excellent. And on my right is David Lambert, Australian Elite Men's head coach and coach of the current Men's World Champion team. Nice to have you here, David.
Thanks, Nick. It's a pleasure, and it's very exciting to be here, and I'm looking forward to participating in this type of show. It's a first for us, I think, for underwater hockey to actually have some post-game highlights and all that sort of discussion. Looking forward to it, and really excited to see some really good action hockey here in Hobart.
Yeah, I think it's a really positive thing, Dave, that we try and bring the sport to a little bit more of a kind of professional standing where we do start kind of looking into what's been happening during the day. And also not everyone, sadly, can travel to Hobart and experience what's going to be a fabulous tournament. So this is a really good chance for them to get a little bit more than just some murky vision from under the water with a couple of players swimming around.
Yeah, no, exactly, Nick. I think it's going to be a pretty special event with the cameras. We've all got the good setup going. We've got commentary. We're going to have highlights, as you said. So it's going to be very exciting, and just can't wait to get underway. So people, who couldn't come to Hobart can, watch in home and on the computer and really see what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think the other good thing is going to be able to do the interviews with the people. So it's great to get some insight from not only the coaches and the players, but the referees, some of the people walking around on the pool deck, and also we'll get some of our sponsors on there and give them a chance to talk about, why they're throwing their support behind this event. So talking about our sponsors, you'll see we've got this lovely board behind us, or maybe you can't. Looking at my head in the TV there, we probably can't, but we may be able to pan over it possibly. No? Go to the wide camera. No, they're busy. Oh, there we go. So you see behind us we have this lovely board which has been put together by Poco people over here, one of our event sponsors, who's done also our fabulous logo, which was drawn by actually one of the players' parents out of WA. It's been really great. We've been able to make this tournament really affordable for everyone coming because of the support from these people behind me here. Largely, the Tasmanian State Government and the Hobart City Council have thrown huge support behind the event and helping us not only secure the bid, but now put together a really good tournament. A lot of equipment sponsors up there: Amar from 6AA, Sergio from Shark Underwater Hockey Equipment, Nelly from the Nage Fins, Dave Kennedy from Can-Am, and then also obviously Underwater Hockey Australia, the Australian Underwater Federation and the Tasmanian Underwater Hockey Association, and then finally Wing & Co, who are putting together all the food and packs for everyone at the pool, which is it's great to be able to have support from these kind of people, Dave.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to trying some of that Wing & Co food. It is yummy, and I'm very tuned to this time of year. Good stuff, yeah. Yes,
looking forward to being able to get a bit of gear without having to pay postage for it, hopefully. So
yeah,
that'll be ideal.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that you can grab gear from an actual stall. They actually sell hockey gear. And the other one I must mention is Aquatic Equipment Australia, or Vertex, who have supplied all our referees' caps and all the referees' vests and T-shirts for all the volunteers and etc. And they've also done the Australian team caps for the last few years, and they put together some great equipment, and they'll have a stall as well at the tournament. So
yeah, I hear they look really great. Yeah, good design. Yeah. Well done.
So really, what are we doing here? Today is about talking about the draw. We really wanted to get into, one, getting the draw out to the world, but two, then looking at some of the exciting fixtures over the first 6 days, being the round robin, and look at the countries that are coming, what divisions they're playing in. So first of all, let's have a look at all the teams that are coming, and if my lovely assistant could whack up the teams schedule. So you'll see we've got 34 teams coming across 10 countries. It's really, really good turnout. There's a few obvious omissions. Oh, look at that. You even get to see my legs underneath. That's quite fancy. So the big standouts for me, Dave, I think, is seeing 3 teams coming from Argentina in the juniors this year.
Well, that's just fantastic. I know they've been in a few of the senior world teams, and it's good that their junior program is starting to hit its straps, and it's starting to show. And I look forward to seeing some of the old timers and the coaches coming along with them, and just pick some brain on how they're developing the juniors.
Yeah, and I think there's been a bit of a bind together there where Argentina have actually pulled in some Colombians to do a bit of their coaching as well. So I know Lugo is coming across, one of the senior Colombian guys, to coach one of their junior teams. So I've had the pleasure of playing against the Argentinian senior teams at Worlds, and I think this is a great really great thing for hockey to see this extra junior teams coming from South America.
Yeah, it's good to see a bit of cross-country support in that. And I know Colombia has a fantastic support network in their self, and I'm glad to see that they're actually sharing that with their close neighbors.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. So the other one, Harry, that I've noticed, and this is probably more your kind of world, is that this year we've actually got 4 teams coming from Canada and 3 teams from the USA. So a really big turnout from the North Americas there.
Yeah, look, I'd like to claim it. Have been over there and played a few times, but I don't know if I can do that. No, it's very exciting to have some of those teams come across from North America. So I haven't ever played against the Canadian teams, and not that I'm playing this tournament, but it'll be very exciting for some of the teams to play against them. So.
Yeah, and they've got a few of their senior guys coming along. I noticed Jordan Fry there is coaching one of the under-23 boys teams, I think, and they did have Caleb coaching there as well. And so both familiar with Australia, have spent a lot of time out here before. So do you think that's a driving force in getting them here?
Yeah, I mean, I think the tournament, this is sort of the first one in Australia, obviously, since 2000 Worlds. So I think it's an exciting opportunity to come over here and do a bit of travelling, and we've got a good relationship with sort of the North American countries, as with all the countries, but I'm sure they're excited to get here. And yeah, Jordan's a great guy and loves hanging out with the Aussies.
There you go. Look at that. Pitch for Jordan. Harry is single.
No worries. Get around me.
And then obviously there's a couple of omissions there, Dave. No teams from the Netherlands attending.
Gee, that's extremely disappointing, knowing how far back in history the Netherlands go back in underwater hockey. And I think this is the first time I haven't seen I won't see the lovely orange in the clogs hitting the pool deck. It's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, they definitely have been a fixture in the stands over the years, and also have been really strong in the junior division. So I think one of the reasons we heard was they had a lot of young players, but still a bit sad to see them not travel away, Harry.
Yeah, look, it's certainly disappointing. I remember I was at the you as well, coaching Nick, over at the Netherlands tournament over there, and they put on a great tournament, so it would have really been good to be able to reciprocate, but unfortunately not so.
And then, I mean, the other concern, obviously, with holding the tournament outside of Europe was going to be how many of the fringe countries we get. And, Spain and Italy coming to their first one last time. Sad that they won't be able to get a team over this time. And Spain, obviously, it's a long way to travel. But sad to see those teams not here, Dave.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy the energy the Spanish teams bring. They're constantly on the deck cheering for all their teams, like the other countries. But they just bring a real energy that we'll certainly miss in Hobart.
Yeah, no, it's but still with 34 teams, it's a really good turnout, especially when it's so far to travel for a lot of these, Harry.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I think a concern, obviously, when we first got the hosting rights for the tournament was how many teams would manage to come. But 34, as you say, is just a fantastic effort. So excited to see everyone.
Yep, yeah, and I think one of the things we're really looking forward to too is if we look back at Castellon, there was a different country won every division, and I think we're really looking forward to see what happens here. I know the Kiwis are talking it up and hoping to win everything, as they always do, but or as they always try to do. But last time that didn't happen. Dave, what's your kind of forecast looking at this list of teams? Who do you think are going to be the hot favourites?
Well, it has been 2 years. I can't go past looking at New Zealand. They have a strong junior structure started back some time ago. I think Tristan, who's the CMAS commission, has started that schools development program in New Zealand, and they all come through. It's almost like they're churning through the blenders and they're putting them out. Every year they come with strong teams. And I know in the test events we had here at the Trans-Tasman, which we do play against New Zealand, they brought some strong teams. So you can't look past them. But then again, there's the dark horses that come through. Like South Africa always comes through. They came through last time in the women's. Colombia, I've seen them first appearance in 1990, and they've been growing ever since, and they haven't stopped, and they're continuing to grow. I mean, even at the last World Championships in Stellenbosch, they went through the round robins undefeated, the men.
Yeah, no, it's there's definitely, I think that for me, the South Africans, the Colombians, and the Turkish are going to be the three. They were sort of, the South Africans less so being left field. They've always had a strong hockey presence, but have always kind of struggled to get their stuff together over the last few years. And the success of their under-19 women's team, and then the success of their women's team in Stellenbosch, I think certainly their under-23 women, especially at this next tournament, are going to be really strong. And then Colombia are always pushing, and with their under-23 women getting up last year, I know they've got a lot of similar players, so they'll be looking to push that. And then obviously Harry, the Turkish, last time managed to knock you off the perch.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts for them this tournament?
Look, strong, very strong team. I think it's the only team they're sending is their under-23s men's team. So mean, they were strong in the elite division, obviously coming second at Worlds in Stellenbosch. So not sure how many players are in their under-23s team from that, but I'm sure there's a couple. So
Yeah, no, they definitely have a few that are travelling. So yeah, no, they're going to be a really interesting group to see.
I tell you what, Nick, just looking at that, sorry, Dave, is Europe, apart from Turkey last time, Europe's got a bit of a point to prove, having just Turkey winning last tournament.
Yeah, I think it's really impressive to see the southern part of the world really cleaning up. So, you know, we didn't win anything, but we're close to some of those countries. So.
Yeah, I don't think, given Australia, it's our home country. I don't think you can outcount any of those Australian teams. The other dark horse, I think, is what we've seen in Stellenbosch is Great Britain surprised in a few games. So don't count them out either.
Especially
Yeah,
junior
absolutely.
hockey.
It was a nail biter. The Great Britain was it the semi-final where they knocked the Kiwis off. So really unexpected victory, and that was certainly a big talking point for that last tournament. And there's some people from that group who are travelling here. I think Fletcher's one of the coaches, and so some of their senior guys are here, and it's good to see that elite hockey filtering down into the junior levels. You know, we're trying to get the same thing done here in Australia, maybe not to the same level, but we'll see how we go, Harry.
Yeah, look, sounds good. And I think with a lot of those countries coming, a lot of support staff, and hopefully we're going to get them, doing some interviews, and we can learn about how hockey's played in other countries a little bit more, and go into a bit more detail with that, hopefully in the commentary box.
Yeah, look, sadly we don't get to get together enough, and it's really good to see the numbers travelling to all these little tournaments around the world, the China Cup, the Manila Invitational, some of the Colombian 3x3s, all these great tournaments that are happening. I know they're having the 3x3s in Sydney later this year as well, and they're the only chances we get to see each other and really mix our hockey together. So this is a great chance for all of that to happen. So, should we get into the draw? I know that's what everyone's been sending me emails about constantly for the last 3 months. When's the draw going to be ready? When's the draw going to be ready? I just keep blaming it on Tristan when really we've had it the whole time, but we just didn't want to give it to anyone. So, let's have a look at day one of the draw and see what's really going to kick us into gear. As my lovely technician. Right, so looking at day one, we're starting off both the under-19 divisions playing 2 games on day one. The under-23 is playing a single game. Those 2-game days can be quite taxing, Harry.
Yeah, look, personally, I'm a fan of the 2-game days. If you you should never be warming up in your first game. You should be ready to play. But often I always felt like the first game, struggle to get into it and having a chance to really have a crack later that afternoon. Whereas a 1-game day, if it's something bad, then you're waiting, possibly 24 hours to get back in the water. So I'm pretty happy with the 2-game day.
Yep. Yeah, so we've got 7 teams in the under-19 women's and 9 teams in the under-19 boys there, Dave. So looking at that list, that first day, we've got some big games there with the Australian and New Zealand under-19 boys playing, the across-the-dish rivalry, as well as the under-19 girls doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think, you can't, those rivalries go far, far back in history, and that's going to be a full-packed house. I know there's a lot of supporters coming over from New Zealand, and being in Hobart, one of the Australia's junior hubs, along with WA and Bunbury there. So we're going to have a packed house for those 2 first games, and I'm literally looking forward to those. Yeah,
I think it's going to be great to see. I think we've sold over 150 week-long supporter tickets, of which about half have gone to New Zealanders. So I'm expecting the silver fern and the black shirts to be a big feature there, Harry.
Yeah, look, first game of the tournament, no warm-up, no easy games. You've got to be straight into it, and come finals with very close teams, these games matter.
Yeah. As we've seen, every game matters. It's there's no easy games at Worlds, and I think it'll be a real baptism of fire for the under-19 US girls coming up against the reigning world champions, the South Africans.
Wow. When is this going to go live so people can actually get a close look at it?
So we've got some images on the screen now. We've got 26 people watching. We've hit some kind of new record.
This is huge.
One like. Wow, we're out of control. So this will be going live onto our website and onto Facebook at the end of this stream. And then obviously people can review and get back and watch what we've been talking about, which is mostly rubbish. That's all good. That's what we're here for.
No, but I think this adds value to people who don't get an idea of what's coming up and don't follow the draws that closely. So I think this sort of setup that we've got going here will actually help people and get more people educated at the pool, wondering what's going up, what games to look for, and get their timing. I know the New Zealanders will follow their sons and daughters, but there's other people who will want to stream and watch particular games and keep a look for them. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this part.
Look, I think when Tristan pulled the Keno balls out of the thing when he was lining these teams up for who was going to play. I think he's managed to pick out not necessarily the grudge matches, but the big games are happening on day one. We've got under 23 Australians versus the under 23 Kiwis, with obviously the Kiwis a point to prove after the Australians knocking them out of the grand final in the last time. But then also on the other court at the same time, you've got Turkey against France, which is also a really big kind of rival game.
Yeah, that'd be a huge game. Some big. This is the boys division you're talking about.
Yeah, the men's under 23s.
Some big boys in that Turkish France game. So that's gonna be flat out. And as you say, that New Zealand Australia game, always a massive grudge match. They play each other, pretty much once a year now, with the Trans Tasman tournament in between. So that's always going to be a massive game. And it was pretty close last year in the Trans Tasman between the two teams, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was really close in the under 23s. The New Zealand have got a lot of players that have with a lot of experience, and they're going to be a really tough team to beat this year. Yeah,
they've played like 7 worlds. Yeah. I don't understand.
They played more than me.
I think when I played them, they must have been like 12 when I played
like
them.
50.
Still beat me.
So let's go on and have a look at day 2 then. Once the teams have managed to warm up through day 1 and survive, we see a flicking of the guard there with now the under 23 boys playing 2 games for that day. I think the first game of the morning at 9:30 there, and most of our days start at 9:30, so it's a nice leisurely start. The Australians versus the South Africans in the men's under 23, I think would be a really interesting game, Dave.
Yeah, another long-term grudge match. If a lot of our listeners might be aware that we have in the off-world seasons, we have tournaments where we invite South Africa and New Zealand and ourselves together. I think this year's a bit different. We're all heading to Hawaii, but those always set up grudge matches, and everyone likes to face off against each other. But I think there's some European countries there as well. You got some lined up as well.
Yeah, I think just sitting on that South African game, I think this is probably the under-23 men's South African team really with something to prove this Worlds. I think last Worlds they came in and with a lot of momentum and were really positive and a big group of guys, and sadly probably just didn't quite manage to mesh together as a team. So this might be a real kind of inspiration for them this time around, I think.
Yeah, look, I think they won in the Netherlands back 3 tournaments ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Under-23 South African boys, and then since then I think probably the last 2 tournaments have been, I think by their own admission, fairly disappointing. So they've got a big point to prove. Southern Hemisphere tournament, get involved.
Great group of guys too, and I know their new president down there, Hein, is really passionate about his hockey and is putting a lot of effort into the hockey there, and I think that's really great to see. So, yeah, I mean, looking at the European games that day, Dave, what have we got coming up there? We've got the men's under-19 French and the Australians, which will be an interesting game. How do you see that one breaking down?
Well, French-Australia rivalries over the past has always been a sort of a classic game of hockey where it's open versus closed, and it's just different styles hockey going head to head, and it's whoever's going to be the strongest and the fittest is going to survive that one.
And then I think probably the other big game for me, Harry, would be the men's under 23 New Zealand and Colombia playing that afternoon. They'd be two of the favourites in that division.
Yeah, that's huge. I know we talk about it for every game, but rivalry. But with underwater hockey being such a small sort of sport, that's another massive one. Very proud team, the Colombians, and they'll be keen to go one better than. Will they finish 4th in the 23s?
Yeah, they did. I think that's a rematch of the bronze medal match.
So I mean, that's
last year.
That's going to be fresh in a lot of minds there for that. So
yeah, absolutely. And then in the women's 23s, you've got the Euro grudge match there with Great Britain playing off against France. So
the Battle of the Channel.
Yeah, two really strong teams.
Brexit live and well.
That one goes. Yeah, isn't that the truth? So now if we go to day 3. As we keep pushing through the round robin days, so we've now got the under 23 women's and the under 23 men's playing a double day, as well as the under 19 girls playing a double day. So it's a massive day of hockey, starting at 9:30 in the morning, going till 9:30 at night. Harry.
Yeah, that's huge. Hopefully, won't be commentating all day that day. I'll be very tired. No, that's. I always was a big fan of the later starts. Never liked having the first game at sort of 7:30 a.m. in the morning and having to try and
back it up.
Yeah, that's it. So massive day of hockey, and I think by the end of the 3rd day, teams will really start to know where they're sitting and have some idea of how they're going to going into finals. So.
Yeah, that's right. So then flicking through to day 4, we've got a very similar kind of breakdown with actually all divisions except under 23 girls playing double games, Dave.
Right. In is it all double round robins, Nick, or what do we got? Some singles or all doubles?
We can swing back to my start page, David.
Yeah, sorry to
no,
cut you on
you're
the
right.
hop on that one. I think it's yeah.
As you can see, this is
testing
a very, very closely scripted. No, that's not the right piece of paper. Well, I can't actually find it at the moment, Dave.
But there's a mix of things. I think that's when day 3 and day 4 are the settle-in days when people get a sense of we have a bit of practice in the pool, but that's not playing games. So people will be It start to show their fitness coming through with the double days. That's going to take a whack out of them.
Yeah.
And then they'll start, sort of hitting their straps by then, and we'll start seeing the teams rising to the surface and making sure that we'll see who's coming up top.
So I think, Dave, we've got a single round robin for the women's under-19s with only 7 teams in the category, but then the other 3 divisions with 9, 10 and 8 teams in them are all playing. Sorry, a double in the under-19 women's and a single in the other 3 divisions.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
So that's how it's all breaking down.
Right. Good.
There's not much chance for redemption there
No,
if you drop a
final
game.
time.
No,
Yeah.
it's really
Do or
got to
die.
be switched on from the start. So
Yeah.
then flicking through to the day 4 we've done. Day 5, if we have a quick look at day 5. What have we got coming up there? I think the under-23 Colombians versus the South Africans. You've really got a battle of the quick, whippy little Colombians against the brawn of the South African team there, Harry.
Yeah, I always do love watching the Colombians play. They're quick, they're in and under, very sharp, and as you say, South Africans sort of a big bunch of boys normally, so that'll be a really interesting game to watch and see sort of what tactic comes out on top there. And I think fitness might have a little bit to do with that.
Yeah, they definitely they train hard, the Colombian boys. So, and then at the other side, we've got the under-19 women's New Zealand versus the current world champions South Africa. I think the Kiwis probably really with bit of a point to prove in coming back in that one, Dave.
Oh, they do. I mean, they worked hard at last Worlds, and they didn't come away with it, and they were extremely disappointed. I remember seeing some of the footage of the deck, and they were just absolutely devastated. So they're coming. They've been training hard. They've been drilling themselves, and they've had a big squad of girls, and they're coming prepared. What I saw at the Trans-Tasman game. They're coming prepared. So South Africans, I've seen some of the footage that they've put up on their site, and they know they're the champions, and they're coming back, and they want to come back to win.
Yeah, and I mean, while we're on that, I think the social media side of things for this Worlds has been really good. We've seen all the countries really embracing putting up videos about their playing, posting up profile pictures. There's a lot of chatter going on, and it seems that the organisers have done a reasonable job of getting most of that out to the people.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, and I think the more popular we can get out there within ourselves, also then makes us all feel part of the event we're going to have here in Hobart, which is going to be another step up in all worlds. I've seen the worlds. This is the 4th one for the juniors, and from the first one, it was exciting, the first one, but I've seen it all progress, even in number of teams, the level of competition, the level of support that we've got, and I think Nick, you and your committee have done a great job in securing the state government and the city of Hobart to get behind it. And when you come to Hobart, you'll feel part of that. So that's great.
Yeah, I think we're really looking forward to getting everyone here. And Harry, some of those posts are getting up to sort of 10,000 views, which is really good for a small sport like us to pull that kind of audience.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. And I don't know about you, Nick, but I get a little bit intimidated when I see some of the footage of some of the teams training. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. There's so many people on the bottom. So yeah, no, it certainly plays it up a little bit, and it just gets everyone on board. So.
Yeah, well, mate, I've been reading some of the training posts and looking at some of the pictures, and to be honest, I'm pretty happy I'm coaching and not playing in this Worlds, because I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with a lot of these young whippersnappers these days.
Remember in Dordrecht, the first stage games, just trying to get to the bottom was hard enough, and now everyone's bloody training and doing everything. So no, it's amazing, and it's great to be able to see it on social media.
Cool, and then we finish off the round robin on the final day there, day 6. Each team playing a single game except for the under-19 men's, who have got a double game that day. And by that end, we'll have a really good idea of where teams are sitting and how it's all breaking down. And we see the under-19 Australian boys coming up against the South African boys. That should be an interesting game, Harry.
Yeah, again, I mean, by that stage, they'll know pretty much what they need to do going into finals and how they're going to have to, to get the best spot and give themselves the best chance. So a double game, not necessarily a bad thing, I don't think, going into finals. If you've got things to work on or things that you aren't going quite right, you need more games, the better. And if you are a fit team, then it certainly can get you on the front foot going into finals.
Yeah, and looking at this last day of the round robin, when it can all matter, it all comes down to the line as to what position you're going to finish. There's some really big not grudge match, but really big games in here. You've got the French under-23 boys against the Colombian under-23 boys. You've got the French under-23 women against the Colombian under-23 women. You've got the South African women against the Australian women. There's a lot of games here with teams that we would expect to be in the top 4. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on come the end of the round robin.
I can't disagree. I mean, I've been to a couple of tournaments now where things are already decided by that day, but not by the teams that are lining up for that last day. There's going to be some spots up for grabs for the final launch into the grand finals.
And I think if we know anything about junior sports, sometimes there's pressure does definitely get to athletes. So, anything can happen come that last day, and a game that a team should win. Who knows?
Yeah, look, gone are the days of it's the top 3 teams and then the rest of the round robin. It really is a matter of this draw goes 8, 9, 10 teams deep. It's going to be competition all the way through.
Yeah.
So look, that wraps up the round robin. We will put this draw live onto the Facebook page and onto the website. The last thing we're going to pitch on before we start moving off and letting you know what's coming up next time is I actually have our artistic director from the final function who's just passing us a prop. If we can spear Nemo in.
That's the party after the competition's all done and dusted.
So
Nick,
at the end of the tournament, we are going to be having an under the sea themed function hosted by Sebastian the Crab. It's going to be a massive night, and tickets are for sale for supporters or anyone that wants to come along. We're going to fill a really cool hall on the wharf of Hobart with a bunch of food trucks and a heap of good music and a lot of underwater themed, and it's going to be a really good night, Harry.
Yeah, look, unconfirmed rumours about Sebastian the Crab at this stage, but yes, it certainly is a rumour he may be there.
Oh, look, I've been talking to his people. I know a lot of crabs, and they've really pushed me in the right direction. So I'm looking forward to what's going to be a great night. So, look, just to wrap up, this is the first time we've done this. Anyone who has watched or managed to sit through the last, I'm assuming we've talked for probably 15,
6 hours,
20 minutes. Someone's looking at me, no. But look, we really hope to bring you a lot of info. As I said, we're going to get and review a lot of our sponsors, get them on an interview a lot of coaches and players from countries all around the world. Harry's busy putting together a commentary team where we'll have two people from each country, hopefully, and then a bunch of locals. So we'll have full commentary of both courts throughout the tournament. Harry, I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, look, hopefully it won't just be a biased Australian point of view. We're working hard to get some people from every country, so it'll be really exciting. And it's a great chance to have a chat in the commentary box and hopefully bring hockey to people around the world.
Yeah, so look, the next one of these will hopefully be in about a week or two's time, and we'll be getting some girls onto the panel for that one, which will be an excellent addition, given that we've gone with a bit of a sausage fest this time, but you make do with what you can find, Dave.
That's it, and I look forward to some of the girls coming in and giving their insight onto their divisions who've experienced. I hope to see some of the coaches from the under-23s that we have here, and some of the local players that have been in that. And people shouldn't forget that we actually haven't named what the show is, so we also want some good insight into what you think we should call it. There's a few names going around off the strike.
Pretty awful puns going on.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah, so look,
send them in.
Yeah, if you've got an idea for what you'd like us to call the show, we'll and I reckon we can find you some swag from one of our sponsors to give to whoever comes up with the winning name. But we've been throwing around breathalyzed, off the strike,
let's talk underwater,
bottom time, all these kind of things. So it looks like Harry's been past something that he's just killed. What do we got?
Just a couple of comments from those watching. We've got a. Rob Kelly's put let's go GB, let's go. So a bit of smack talk already, and a bit of an
put it up,
Allez la France from the French. So that's Remy Gillet.
Well, that's good that we've managed to get some people interested outside of our living room. So our audience has breached outside this 7 people we have here, which is great. So look, next time we'll have a few more interviews on. We'll have some ladies on the panel, and we're going to have a really good in-depth look at the streaming, which is going to be a bit of a different setup this year, Harry.
Yeah, look, really exciting. So we're doing it in-house in Hobart. We've got some great ideas, and look, not going to give away too much of our next episode, but really excited, and I think it's going to be a great tournament, and we're going to be able to share that with the world. So.
Yeah, and look, I think the most important thing that they all probably want to know is that the streaming is going to be free to air, free for everyone to watch. We will be putting out a site so that if we have managed to do a good job and they have enjoyed what we've done, Dave, then they'll be able to make a donation towards helping covering the costs, because obviously it's a big process putting it all together. But like Harry said, we've put together a local team with some local professionals to hopefully bring a really great service, Dave. And you've seen some of the images. It's looking really good.
Yeah, no, I must say one of the things we've struggled over the past as a sport is to actually cover a game from end to end and side to side. And that's something that you guys have really put a lot of energy and effort in to actually make it right. Not only that, I think what we're doing here in terms of commentary and trying to have live commentary and some feedback from the athletes, they can say hi to home and make some comments about how they're feeling in their preparations and during the games. I think will just add to making us more professional and everyone enjoying themselves even more in underwater hockey.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on, Dave. I think we're moving to 4 cameras underwater minimum, Harry, in the court, and then a couple of overwater cameras and the live commentary. And info from the sponsors and all that kind of stuff. It's really going to, and then this end of day debrief show, it's going to be a whole new look for the streaming.
Yeah, look, I'm most excited about the highlights reel. I think if that's the aim of the players to get on the highlights reel, then that's what they should be doing. It'd be great to get a swerve on there or
Game
an
of the
amazing
day.
goal. I'm all about that, showboating. So
Yeah, and a lot of info we'll be able to put up there about goal scorers for the day, most kickouts, all that kind of info. So we really plan on breaking it all down and talking through it all on the couch here. If you do come up with a name, let us know through the Facebook or through emails or anything like that. But Harry, thanks for your input today.
thanks, Nick. It's always good fun.
And Dave, thanks for joining us on the couch.
Oh, I love it. And the fact that everyone's coming down to Hobart, and that's a special place in what we live in. So, yeah, I welcome everyone and look forward to catching up with people on the side of the pool.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great to see you all here. So until next time, thanks for coming. And remember to pack warm. It is cold. Ugg boots on tonight, fresh snow on the mountain today. So we'll see you all in, 4 weeks?
Sounds good.
Yeah, 4 weeks' time. Yeah.
Cheers.
See ya.
Thank you.